So I work with a bunch of high performers. And what I mean by a high performer is somebody who is absolutely obsessed with their craft. They shape all of their goals, their lifestyle, their personal life, all goes towards whatever they're creating, whatever they're building, whatever they're bringing to the world. And sometimes that means that life gets extremely busy. Today, for example, it is Saturday. I've had a full day going from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. working at the weekend. And I thought I would be finished by 1 p.m. And Sunday is my day off. That is non-negotiable. So I'm not carrying any work into Sunday. But I forgot that I had to do a weekly YouTube video. So here I am. And the reason I wanted to talk about this is there will be workouts, there will be times when you don't feel like showing up. Okay? I usually tell my clients that it's basically a rule of thirds. A third of the time, you're going to feel absolutely shit going to the gym. Third of the time, cursing again. A third of the time, you won't feel like going to the gym. You will feel really, really bad. Low energy, no motivation, no willpower to do it. A third of the time, you're going to feel kind of neutral about it. And a third of the time, you will be really motivated, really excited. You'll be thinking, bring it on, I'm in the zone. That's normal. That is basically the human existence, okay? So it doesn't really make much sense to attach how well you're doing on your fat loss goals or on your fitness goals in general, or anything even related to do with your daily or weekly work routine to how you're feeling, right? There's enough people on the internet saying this, I think, at this point. We can kind of confidently just accept that as it is. But I have a very real client testimonial, which really illustrates this point and drives it home. So I have a client who has, as of this week, completed his 100th workout with me. I got a notification on my phone this week because he uses my training app. And I had to celebrate that success in our private members group. He has been with me for 8 months. He's averaged a workout every 2.4 days, which to many people who are into the, grind mindset, hustle culture, locking in, getting back on the wagon, that usual motivational language that goes along with health and fitness goals, that might not sound like a lot, 1 in every 2.4 days. However, this man is in his mid-40s. He is the managing partner, managing director of a 100-person strong consulting company in the software industry. I remember I met him about 10 years ago when he was doing some consulting work for our university back when they were just a small group of people. And now they're up to 100 staff. So he's got that going on. He's got a young family. He's constantly, going away on trips. And he still managed to lose 7 kilos overall, so about 15 pounds, which is all he actually had to lose anyway. He just had a little bit of overhang, a bit of gut that he wanted to get rid of. And, that's going to stand to him coming into his 50s and beyond. It's definitely going to mitigate the risks of developing certain kind of lifestyle-induced illnesses that become more of a problem as we get into our 40s and beyond. And basically, he has maintained that kind of body weight now, the one that he eventually got to after losing 7 kilos. He's maintained that for, I'd say, the half of the time he's been with me. So half of that time was spent getting the weight down to begin with, actually in the first 3 months. And the following 5 months, he slowly increased body weight, but he's still maintained the same body composition, if not looking actually a little bit leaner. And there's some weeks that I see in the app, he's logged 1 workout in a week. Some weeks it's 2, and on a good week, it's 3 workouts, right? Nothing to write home about in terms of the amount of volume, the amount of frequency that he's doing in his training program. But I think that that's actually the key to his long-term success. And it's going to be the key to your long-term success, especially if you fall into that high performer bracket. The problem that a lot of us have when we speak about, people who are high performers, execs, entrepreneurs, etc., we have this mad need to prove ourselves, both to ourselves and to the external world, right? We do that in our work. I'm not convinced it's necessarily a bad thing, because that ultimately goes on to being the backbone of every single economy, no matter what society you're in. But it's just the way it is, right? That can often leave us blind and unwilling to accept high leverage habits and to basically do the bare minimum to get by. I remember a friend of mine who's now, he's gone off to be an engineer in his own right. He said to me at one point when we were younger, he said, I have a great knack for, and I'm talking about him now, not me. He had a great knack for, doing the bare minimum, but making it look immaculate, right? Whereas I was always that person spinning my wheels, getting extremely stressed. Like, we both had the similar kind of advancement, the same kind of, outcomes in life. It's just that he was better able to manage his energy. He was better able to not overwork himself. Whereas I was always that person, that was just, I would pride myself on doing the work, doing extra work. And that's all well and good until you break. You recover, you break again, and it's this ongoing cycle. And I think this happens to quite a lot of high performers, high achievers, is that we get burned out, right? And the thing is, the world does need us. It needs people who are willing to work more than the average person. And not only that, maybe sometimes double what the average person will work. The world needs people who provide, a much higher volume of output in terms of productivity than most people. It's the Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule, that 20% of the people provide, 80% of the results in productivity. So the world needs people like you. However, it needs people like you to be able to keep doing what you do for many years to come. Okay? So that means that you're going to have to find a middle ground between excelling in your chosen field, but then on the other hand, making it so that you can consistently do this day after day, week after week, year after year. Now, when it comes to your fitness goals, what you're going to want to do is to get by with the bare minimum that you can get away with, that's going to keep you going at a pace of achieving your goals, right, without burning out, and to accept that as that it's working, okay? You don't need to go all in on a given Monday and do intermittent fasting, plus cutting out carbs, plus 5 hit cardio sessions in a week on top of 5 weight training sessions in a week. That's going to be your natural temptation. And that's pretty natural, especially given the kind of person that you are. Whereas what you actually need is you need to identify the ideal lifestyle that you want. You want to attach your goals to a lifestyle that, actually motivates you, okay? You need to kind of attach your fitness goals to the sex, drugs, and rock and roll, or whatever it is that's on the other side of, you achieving your goal, okay? So, for example, if you enjoy, once a week meeting up with your buddies for burgers, or you enjoy getting drinks, you enjoy going out to nightclubs, it doesn't actually make sense to completely lock yourself away from these things while you're trying to achieve your fat loss goals, because what's naturally going to happen is that there will be a week where you're completely burned out from your work, and then that will coincide with you maybe going to, whatever your chosen vice is, completely overdoing it, Then out of guilt, kind of staying trapped in that for a while until, you go back to try and lock in and repeat the cycle all over again. I help busy people, creatives, entrepreneurs, high achievers break that cycle so that we can actually start your fitness and nutrition program as a bottom-up approach, where we start with the lifestyle that you can, sustainably maintain, the lifestyle that you ideally want to have, and we start as we mean to continue, combining evidence-based fitness and nutrition principles with this lifestyle and this implementation that we have identified, which is bespoke to you, okay? That is a system I call flexible fat loss, where we create an ecosystem of habits, making fat loss seamless rather than making it something that you need to obsess about, because the world needs you to obsess about your craft. Subscribe to the subscribe to the YouTube channel if you found this useful. I'll also have a link in the description to sign up to my mailing list. Depending on when you're seeing this, I might even have a link to my website with all the details of my different offerings. Right now it is under construction, but who knows, you can, update the description of a video at a different time than you create and publish the video. Not sure if you knew that, but you can. So yeah, I'm also going to get much better at these YouTube outros, but once again, as the start of the video started out, you just simply need to show up. Ditch the perfection and, get in the gym. Anyway, have a great weekend and I'll be back again soon.